Hey everyone, I hope you are doing well. In this video, we are going to create our paper airplane object in Adobe After Effects. So without wasting time, let's get started. At first, we need to create a composition in After Effects. For name, enter 04 paper airplane. Let's enable title action safe option to find the center of the composition. Now I want to show the ruler, so from the menu choose View, Show Rulers, or press Ctrl R. And now let's add one vertical and one horizontal ruler on the screen. Zoom in a bit, or set this zoom option on 1600%. And now move these rulers to put them on these crosshair lines. We don't need title action safe tool, so let's turn it off and fit the composition. Okay, to avoid selecting and moving these guidelines accidentally, from the menu choose View, Lock Guides. Now we can select and move them. Now I'm going to create wings for our airplane. So let's use Pen tool, and for fill color let's use white. Now click here at the top and then click here on this guideline. Now hold the Shift key to create a straight line and click here. And finally click at the first point to create a closed shape. Let's rename this layer to Wing Right. And now enable Convert Vertex tool and zoom in a bit. Open View menu and make sure this Snap to Guides option is enabled. Now hold the Ctrl key and snap it to the guideline. Do the same for this vertex as well. And also for this one. Now let's add a stroke to this object. Change its color to red for now. To see it better, click on this toggle transparency grid button. Let's set the resolution to full. Make this layer 3D. Okay, hide this column, we don't need it now. Now when I select it, as you can see, the anchor point is here. For this object, we need to move the anchor point to the top vertex. So hold the Ctrl key to snap it to the top vertex. Let's zoom in to check it. Yes, it's okay. The anchor point is snapped exactly to the top vertex. Okay, now let's duplicate this layer and select it and press the Return or Enter key and rename it to Wing Left. I want to reverse it in X-axis, so open a scale property and unlink scale values and change the scale X to -100. Select both layers, open rotation property by pressing R key. Let's make timeline panel bigger to have more space here. Now let's change the third orientation value for wing left. I set it to, for example, 5. And for wing right, I set it to -5, which -5 degrees means 355 degrees. As you can see, these two objects rotated around this top vertex, which is the anchor point. Okay, now I want to create two small shapes from wing objects for the bottom part of the paper airplane. So I duplicate this wing right, and let's change the layer color to, for example, yellow, and rename the layer to Wing Right Small. Let's zoom in a bit. Now using Convert Vertex tool, I want to change the position of right vertex of Wing Right Small object. Don't worry, you will see soon why I'm doing this. Let's lock these two layers for now. Okay, now click on this right vertex, or you can drag around it to select it. Now hold the Shift key and press the left arrow key on your keyboard, for example, for 15 times. Now unlock and select Wing Left and duplicate it. Rename it to Wing Left Small and change layer color to yellow. Unlock this Wing Left layer. Okay, again using this Convert Vertex tool, select this left vertex. And without changing zoom level, hold the Shift key and press right arrow key for 15 times. Okay, now for Wing Right Small, open rotation property and decrease Y rotation until the edge of this triangle reaches the vertical ruler, which is the center of the composition. For example, -105. Let's zoom in a bit more. It seems we need to change Y rotation even more, maybe to -106. And now for wing left small, for Y rotation, let's enter positive 106. As you can see, Y rotation for wing left small is positive 106, and for wing right small is negative 106. Now I want to connect this wing left shape to the wing right shape. So if I change the wing right, we will see that wing left shape will be changed automatically. Later on, you will see that this saves us a lot of time. So let's unlock these layers. For wing left, open contents, shape 1, path 1, and now here the path property. Now let's open path for wing right as well. Okay, now press the tilde button to have the timeline or layer panel in full screen mode. Now to connect the path from the wing left to wing right, hold the Alt key and click on this stopwatch. Now click and drag this pick whip icon over the path of wing right. Now you can see this blue equal sign here, which means this property is controlled by a script. That in fact, this script has connected this property to the path of the wing right layer. Okay, now let's see what's happened. Select this layer and enable this Convert Vertex tool. Now if I change the shape of wing right, as you can see, wing left will be changed as well. So let's zoom in and snap this vertex to the horizontal guideline. Maybe it's not a bad idea to move it to the left a bit as well. Now I want to change the shape of these two wings to have a better shape for the airplane. In fact, I want to create a new vertex a bit lower, so this open area will not be at the top vertex. Let me show you what I mean. First of all, let's lock these two small wing shapes. Select wing right. And let's use pen tool and let's add a vertex here. Now use Convert Vertex tool and snap it to vertical guideline. Now I want to have a curved corner on this vertex instead of this sharp corner. So I'm going to use pen tool and select the wing right layer. And let's zoom in a bit. Now when I put my mouse over this edge, you can see a plus sign beside the mouse icon. It means if I click here, it will add a new vertex. So let's click here and here. Okay, now let's use Convert Vertex tool and click and drag and move it to a new position. As you can see, we have curved corner for this wing left as well. So now you know why did I connect path property of these two shapes together. Now let's go to full screen mode and now we can change these handles to get a good curved shape for this corner. Maybe it's better to turn off Snap to Guides for a second. Try to form a nice and smooth curve shape in this corner by moving middle vertex or changing these handles. You can move handles of the wing right and look at the wing left to see the result. Great. Okay, I think it's a good result. Now we have a good curved corner here. Or even we can have a smaller curve here. So let's move these vertices a bit. Now we can have a smaller curved corner, so let's move these vertices a bit. We can change handles position to get the best result. I think this is great now. Now I want to add a curve shape to this corner as well. You will see this can create a better shape for our airplane. So for a few seconds, let's hide these two small wing objects. Let's zoom in a bit. Now I want to have a curve shape from here, so select wing right and use pen tool to add a new vertex here. Now hold the Ctrl key and move it to the top. And now click and drag to enable handles. And now we can create a curved shape from here. And move these handles. Let's unhide these two layers and here you are. This is the result. Nice curved corner. Now I want to create a null object to control this aeroplane. Null object, as you may know, is an object that you can use it to control properties, and fortunately it's not a renderable object. So from the menu add a null object and let's rename it to control, and here it is. Let's make it 3D. The anchor point is here at the corner, so press Ctrl, Alt and Home buttons to move it to the center of the null object. And then press Ctrl and Home buttons to move the null object to the center of the composition, which is the bottom of the airplane. Okay, make sure for this null object, this local axis mode is enabled. This will help us to rotate the object easily. Here we have three modes: local axis, world axis, and view axis. But we need this local axis mode. Now for this control layer, open rotation property. And let's change Y orientation value to, let's enter for example 270 degrees. Now let's show parent and link column. And let's select all these four layers and parent them to control layer. Now if I move the control layer, as you can see, all the layers move as well. Now I want to add a few color controllers to control wings color. So open Effect Controls panel and from the menu choose Effect, Expression Controls, Color Control. I'm going to add 4 color controls to these 4 wings. Maybe you like to change color for each wing separately, but you can use 2 controllers. It's up to you. Okay, let's rename the controller to wing right color. Duplicate it and rename it to wing left color. Now duplicate from wing right color and rename it to wing right small color. Drag it under wing left color and duplicate this one. And let's rename it to wing left small color. For wing right and left, let's choose a white color. And for these 2 wing small colors, let's choose a bright gray color. Now lock this panel by clicking on this lock button to hold this panel open while selecting other objects. First, let's connect fill color of the wing left to the color controller. So let's find shape 1, fill 1, and here it is the color property. And now hold the Alt key and click on this stopwatch to connect it to, yes, wing left small color. Let's do the same for wing right small layer. And connect the fill color to wing right small color. Okay, now we have wing left and wing right. Let's connect them as well. Okay, we have connected them successfully. Great. Now if I change the color for these 2 top fill effects, as you can see, the color of the wings will be changed. Press the escape key to cancel it. Now let's hide this column and select all 4 layers, and we don't need the stroke effect anymore, so change the stroke to none. Now let's see what we have created so far. So from the menu choose Layer, New, Camera. For preset I choose a 28mm camera and press OK. Now switch the camera to camera 1 or even this custom view 1. Now press the C key or choose this camera tool to be able to rotate around the object. As you can see, we have created a real 3D paper aeroplane in After Effects. Right click to zoom in a bit. I think we can make one of these small wings a bit darker, so change the color for wing right small color to a darker gray, for example to 909090. Now we have a better look, yes. Rotate around it and let's what we can do to make it even better. For example, I think it's better to reduce the height of these 2 small wings. It's not too hard, so let's go back to active camera view. Select these 2 small wings and load rotation property. And change rotation Y to 0 for both of them. Okay, I think it's better to connect these small shapes together, just like what we did for those 2 big wings. So open path property of wing left small. Also open path property of wing right small. And then hold the Alt key and click on the stopwatch and drag this pick icon over the path property of the wing right small. Now use Convert Vertex tool and select this vertex. And hold the Shift key and press the left arrow key to move it. Now for wing left small, let's change the Y rotation, for example to -110. Or maybe -110.5 is better. Now for wing right small, let's change the Y rotation to +110.5. Let's rotate around it and check everything. Maybe we need to decrease the rotation a bit. For example, let's change this one to -110. And for this one, let's enter +110. Okay, I think we have a better result now. Let's go back to active camera again. Now let's select all of these objects except the camera. Copy them into memory by edit copy. Now let's open final composition. Select the top layer to paste layers above it, and now from the menu choose edit paste. Now select control layer and press the V key to load the selection tool and bring it down somewhere like here. Let's rotate it a bit. It seems the plane sinks into the globe, so let's switch to custom view 1, and yes, as you can see, the plane is inside the globe object. So let's change the zoom position and let's rotate it in y-axis a bit to have a better rotation, and also around z-axis. As you can see, here we have a small penetration in wings, so let's solve this problem. Select these two small wing objects and load position property. I think we need to change position X. Yes, the X should be changed. Let's change it to, for example, 52. Zoom in a little to get a better view. Okay, we need to reduce X position, so let's change it to, for example, 49.5. Or maybe 49 is a better value. We don't have the penetration problem anymore, so let's move the plane in Z-axis. And now press the C key to zoom back. And this is our paper airplane in a real 3D view. Everything is okay and we're ready for the next stage. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video tutorial so far. If you'd like to learn how to animate this airplane, don't miss the next amazing video. Have a nice day and see you soon.